Good afternoon, traders. Well, this sell setup, sort of bear flag pattern, it will not trigger. Buyers are still in control. And then why am I calling it a bear flag? It's not in a downtrend, but the trend is in question because it came all the way down to major support. So just a day-to-day grind into this reversal period and waiting to see if it violates a prior day's low or does it just continue higher up toward this resistance. Now, part of the bias today, which we get every day, is what are the S&P strikes that had the highest volume? I don't know if I have yeah, I do have an option table here. So we sort this by volume on the day, and what you see is 6,400 is the high volume strike. It doesn't happen every day, but many days it happens where it has to gravitate toward that level area. You can see the high of the day is just below that. So it still may hit it. You can see on the 5-minute chart, it's just chopping around here. And the 65-minute chart is still bullish at this pivot. Potentially, if it holds on to this area, it doesn't fall all the way back again, it can take out these highs and even move a bit higher. Now, the day-to-day ranges are about equal in size as we look at these bars. That doesn't mean it can't inch its way up above the prior day's high, hit 6,400, and then I would suspect it comes back in again today. Speculation, we'll see what happens, but that's what I'm looking for to see if it can get up there. As we look at other markets, the Qs are outperforming, continue to. Semiconductors are doing pretty good, uh, grinding up toward the all-time high. So when it came down the other day, last Friday, on the employment report, major support, and it just continues to grind its way higher, continue to track prior day's lows. Financials got hit real hard. It's an inside day. There's a bunch of inside days. So this really was damaged badly the way it came down, but so far it's holding. SMHs may be the key to the whole scenario here. And I pointed out pre-market this shoulder, head, shoulder. Question is, does it break below a prior day's low and then down here? Still yet to be seen. Regional banks are weak. Again, does it break a prior day's low or not? It certainly could play a little catch up, waiting. So we're looking for what's showing relative strength, relative weakness. Biotechs aren't doing anything. The Dow, an inside day, it looked like it was going to rally, continue to rally earlier this morning. It didn't happen, a down bar. And so it took out the low of the day, a little bit of a flush hitting the stops, got close to the gap fill, and it came right back up again. So this is a rounding type of a bottom. Maybe it can play some catch up and we can get some more upside up maybe toward that 20. I doubt it's going to take out the high of the day. Uh, Transports, pretty bearish, one of the most bearish. Um, that's a sell setup, breakdown under support, big reversal day, still trading at the low here. And this is one piece of information that suggests the markets are eventually going to pull back because the transports being weak, the Dow showing relative weakness. That's not a good sign. But tech is still doing well. If tech starts to fall apart, I think game over for the bulls. Not likely to be happening today. It's Friday. I think we go into next week, and that was my bias earlier this morning, that we would go into next week and see how things pan out. What's doing the best today? Marijuana continues to bring up the rear. This is one thing that's bringing up the rear. And now we're going to see if it can close above the 200-day. If it does, that would suggest something it hasn't done in a long time. And when it has done it, it's fallen apart again, even over here where it looked like the bottom was in. In retrospect, it certainly wasn't. Healthcare, look at the big volume down here on the breakdown. Now, I'm not interested in this, but it certainly looks like it's the beginnings of a bottom. Look at the weekly time frame. Big volume, and the volume will often precede a shift in the turn. So it looks like cooked on the downside. It's a deep retracement. We'll keep an eye on it, see what it does. Metals and mining pushing up to highs. Gold hit new highs today. What is that doing? It's been pretty erratic. The gold futures did. The ETF is not hitting it. Interesting. So no confirmation there. Retailing not doing anything. So what in the S&P is doing well here? Well, look at that go, 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 go. Let me go back to the S&Ps and see what's outperforming. Hey, there's a breakout. That looks great. We'll look for this into next week. Earnings not until November. So that's a nice breakout there on GILD. Definitely going on the list for next week. Another breakout, GEN. So while the markets are in question here, there's still plenty of stocks that look really good, or bringing up the rears, like we like to say. Underperformers beginning to outperform. Earnings in October, ALB, pullback toward the 50 and pushing up there. Monster on earnings must have been MU. So there's a semiconductor that's looking pretty darn good. Well, a lot better than it did pulling back here. So look, technology's still doing well. And that's really the key to these markets as we go into next week. Does technology continue to do well? And if it does, that's a big positive. The question is, do these underperformers like the transports and the Dow and the financials, can they get it together? Or are they just early warning signs that are not being paid attention to? We'll find out together as this unfolds. But right now, buyers are in control. I pointed out this bear flag pattern that's just still not in a downtrend, but it's grinding up toward this resistance area. So sellers were really aggressive here on the high. At a minimum, we need to see it violate a prior day's low to see if there's some confirmation of some follow through to the downside. I suspect that isn't going to happen until next week. If you have questions, email